All right, everyone. Hello. I want to welcome you to the second in our CoachAdvisor MasterClass series. The name of this MasterClass series is the 7 steps to hire the right coach, consultant, or mentor and avoid wasting tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on crap that's not going to help you. My name is Kelly O'Neill, and I am here to share with you tonight step 2 in our series. So let's get started. All right. Oh, well, there we go. All right. So just very quickly, I want to do a quick review of step 1. So if you did not watch this last night with us, or if you've not watched it in the recording, it's really important that you go back and you set aside, I believe it was about an hour, which I know is very long. However, it's really important that you guys go back and watch that, because that is the number one mistake, which is not knowing where you are in your business development cycle that I see entrepreneurs making. And I got some feedback from some people that were on the call last night. Someone called me today and said, I am so glad you're teaching this, because this happens all the time. And this is a very seasoned business person I was talking to, and they said, I was just at a conference and all of these things look amazing. And she goes, it wasn't even that I didn't, it wasn't even that I was trying to conserve the money. She goes, I have to conserve my time. And I wanted to buy everything. And I know that if I had done that, none of it would have gotten used, because I'm not in that stage of my business. So that is a critically important training for you guys to watch. So if you haven't done that and you don't know where you are in your business development cycle, please go back and watch that as soon as possible. In fact, put it on your calendar right now to make time to watch that. All right, in tonight's class, what we're going to be talking about is knowing what kind of support is the right support for you, right? For you to build your business, because there's lots of different types of support available out there. And it's totally possible that you could be using one or more different types of support. But it's also just equally as important to know what type of support is not going to work for you. So I'm going to give you an example. And I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but this is an experience that I have had in my life where, I'm very busy, and I kind of call it my treadmill saga, right? I'm very busy. And so oftentimes it has been challenging for me to consistently get out and go to the gym. And so I keep getting this bright idea to build a workout room in my home, right? And so I do. So I'll go out and I'll be like, that's it. I'm going in. I'm going to buy a treadmill. That's it. I'm buying a treadmill. And that way, and I have it all planned out in my head, right? I know the benefits of a treadmill. I know it would be a great thing for me to use one every day, right? And I've planned it out. I can sit on the phone with my team and I can talk to them while I'm working out at the same time. And it's amazing. So then I go through this whole thing where I start to look at different treadmills, which ones are going to work, which one do I want, and I start researching them. And then I go out and purchase one and I put it up there and I use it for 3 days. And then life happens and I get busy and it becomes a very expensive coat rack. Now, I have not done this once nor twice. I have done this 3 times. And the reality is that I know for me, if I really want to, the thing that has worked for me in consistency is hiring a personal trainer. That's what works for me, right? That, and when I had been in places where I couldn't afford a personal trainer, it was to have some kind of group exercise class that I was committed to going to and I paid to go to, right? Because we know that commitment shows up in 2 places. If you've ever heard me speak, it shows up in your calendar and it shows up in your resources, right? In your bank account. So I know that if I'm paying for it and people are counting on me being there, I'm going to be there. That's what works for me. So even though I keep having this idea of creating this home workout, it just never happens. And by the way, it's not just the treadmill. It's I can give you 10 examples. P90X, my P90X craze. I had another beach body craze, like all these different crazes. I was like, I'm going to do it from home. It never happened. And knowing what kind of buyer you are can save you a lot of money and make sure that you get the right kind of services and solutions for you. So I'm going to go over tonight all of the different kinds of things that are available to you that you have to choose from. And then I'm going to tell you what I believe are the pros and cons of each one so that you can make a buying decision for yourself about what is best for you. Now, there's different things that you can use for different purposes in your business. What I will tell you is that the advice I give to not only myself, my friends, my team, my family, is to get the best that you can barely afford, right? In building your business, you should not be making decisions based on the current resources necessarily, right? Meaning that just because something is cheaper if you can afford, something that's $10,000, don't go buy something that's $100. It's probably not going to do what you need it to do, right? Like it's kind of like if I'm going to be training for a marathon and using my treadmill, I probably don't want to buy a manual treadmill that's, $69 at the local Walmart, right? That's probably not a good idea. Might it work? Maybe. Am I probably going to injure myself in the process? Likely, right? So here are the different ones that we're going to cover tonight, right? So there's consulting, right, which analyzes an issue for you and provides solutions. There is mentoring. Mentoring gives advice based on experience. That likely means that it's like, hey, I've done this. I can teach you what it is that I've specifically done, and that will help you out if you want to do the exact same thing I want to do. Right? There's coaching. Now, coaching. This is where we get a little squirrely. So, you know what? I'm going to come back to coaching. There's therapy, and you guys, I don't put this in here tongue in cheek. Sometimes people need mindset help. Sometimes they need therapy, right? And as someone who is actually a trained coach, one of the major training modules that we went through, I think we spent an entire 4 days on this live, was how to distinguish when your client needs therapeutic intervention versus coaching. Because coaches are not qualified to provide therapy. So therapy deals with your past issues, where it's not about the future, it's about healing your past that you're pulling into the now. There's training, right? Where someone is training, right now I'm training you, I'm transferring my knowledge to you, from myself to you, right? And then, there's counseling, right? Assisting in solving past and present issues, kind of giving solutions, let me counsel you on this matter. All right, coaching. Now, when I started in coaching back in 2003, I started my business in 2001, started coaching in 2003, coaching meant something very, very different. And so I want to point this out to you. So when I got certified as a coach, and I have multiple coaching certifications, meaning not that I went online and took some 5-minute online course or a weekend course. I actually signed up and I was in a year-long intensive training program on how to coach. And at the time when we said the word coach, it meant that it was not consulting. So coaching was the belief that your client holds all the answers, right? So if you're working with a life coach, the life coach is to help. Really, they're there to be a mirror to help you get into your own psyche for you to provide the answers. Okay, it is not about giving the client the answers. It is about asking really powerful questions and really guiding them. And there's a bunch of different techniques to utilize in coaching to help people get a breakthrough. But you believe that your client is naturally creative, resourceful, and whole, and they hold all the answers. Okay, so when I started in coaching, I realized that in working with businesses, coaching in that purest form is really not effective, because I can't imagine that my clients would come to me and say something to the effect of, hey, Kelly, I want you to help me with this brand strategy on this new product launch, and me come back to them and be like, yes, let's do that. How do you feel about your new brand strategy launch? Well, I feel good. Well, Kelly, what strategy do you think I should use? Well, that's a great question. What strategy do you think you should use? Like, well, that's not going to go very far. So nowadays, what's happened in the coaching industry is that there's coaches everywhere. A lot of them are totally not trained, right? In actual coaching. There's a lot of mentors out there, right? And there's actually, and this is where it gets really dangerous, and this is what you guys need to know. So there's mentors out there giving advice sometimes it's based on experience, but then there's a lot of people out there that are showing up as coaches who don't have the experience. This is what you need to watch out for, guys. And I've talked about this before. Like, I'll give you an example. I have a business. While I consult in a variety of different industries, I end up having a lot of people come to me who are business coaches saying, help me build my business. So this is where you have to really watch out, because they come to you and it's like, okay, when I ask them, all right, you're a coach, where did you get your training? I don't have any training. Okay, so you're not really a coach, you're a mentor, right? So if you have no training, then that's not really what you're doing, right? So or you're counseling, or you're consulting, or you're training, you're doing something, but it's not really coaching. That problem is not necessarily as much of an issue as the next one, which is when they've gone to a training like one time, and then they build a coaching business around a one-time training that they took. I'll give you an example. I've had business coaches come to me and they say, I'm a business coach. Great, what do you do? I teach people how to get to multiple six figures. Great, how much money are you earning in your business? $30,000. Okay, is this a brand new business? Have you done business coaching before? No, but I just know people won't buy it if I don't use that hook. But you don't know how to get to six figures, so how are you going to actually teach people to get to multiple six figures? Right? That is rampant in the industry, and it happens all the time. So these are kinds of the things we're looking at. That's one of the things I want you to be aware of. And that's also one of the things that gives us a challenge, because the truth is we don't know everything. Even people who have been in business, like myself I've been in business for 18 years, and I don't know everything. I know what I know, and I know what I'm good at, and I don't know everything. And that's why I need to hire people, and that's why you need to hire people as well, right? Because you don't know everything either. Unless you have made a business of being a master at business and marketing and all of those things, then you're going to need help, because most of the people that are looking for support in growing their businesses, they're not all business coaches, right? That have a big track record. Usually it's, all different kinds of industries. What industry are you in? I've talked all the time to doctors and lawyers and authors and speakers and, e-commerce businesses. I mean, there's just so many different types of businesses. And the truth is, hopefully you got into business because you know one subject really, really, really well, and you want to share that subject and that knowledge, or those programs and products with the world. But we don't know everything about everything. So we need support. And there's two ways to get that support. Number one is the stairs. Right? So the stairs are when we're trying to sort everything out ourselves, and we're doing online research, and we're trying to learn things, and we're attending a bunch of free teleseminars or webinars, or whatever. We're going to a bunch of free trainings, and we're getting about 1/4 of an inch deep in a mile-long subject and trying to build our business from there. Smart business owners know that that is the slowest way to go, and it is the most costly in the long run, right? So people think, well, but wait, it's cheap or it's free. It's really not, because it's constantly costing you money, right? The only reason to be taking those things, you know, to be taking like the intro course or the, you know, the complimentary training or the, you know, whatever it is so that you can identify whether or not this person knows what they're talking about in the subject and whether or not you want to hire them, right? And get into a program where you're actually going to learn something, because that's when you're taking the elevator straight to the top door. So we don't know everything, so we need help, right? So like I said, there's lots of different options out there, and that's like the beauty of doing business in today's day and age. There's private coaching, mentoring, consulting. There's small group coaching, mentoring, training. There's large group coaching, mentoring, training, done for you services, live events and retreats, and home study courses, just to name a few. So how the heck do you know which one to choose for you? So let's talk about group or private. So group coaching is really phenomenal. And again, I'm not going to read the slide for you guys, right? You can read the slide. Group coaching is great, especially if you can't afford to work with that person privately, right? So you still have the benefit of being around that person. Group coaching is much more affordable than private coaching, so that's fantastic. It's also really great if you prefer like communities, or you learn better in a group setting. So that is really fantastic. It also depends on if the program is set up to offer live, in person, or is it just all over the phone, right? Because now in today's day and age, right, some of these group programs are just completely over the phone, and which one works out better for you? You know, for some people, they're like, I need to be in a live environment. For some people, they're like, look, that doesn't work out for me. I need to have a remote online program, right? So that's where group coaching is best. Group coaching is also great if you kind of already know what your problems are, and you just kind of need a solution, and you're hiring someone and the group is specifically about solving that problem, right? It's going to be much more general because whoever's teaching this is going to have to, you know, scale to the entire audience. Private coaching is best if you want to move faster and you want to achieve results much faster, right? It is, you know, it is better if you are looking for that intense accountability. You want someone who can laser in on your business and solely focus on your specific business, right? Think of this also like, again, I'm going to use this analogy of the personal training. It's kind of like if you go to a group class, like you're going to get a workout. But if I go to a private class, I can actually tell, to a private trainer, I can say to my private trainer, here's my specific goal. This is what's going on with my specific body. You know, I have a shoulder injury. This is what I like to do. This is what I don't like to do. You know, and they can create that customized program specifically for me. You know, it's like, hey, I want a J-Lo butt. Okay, cool. This is exactly what we're going to do. But if we have a group class of, you know, 40 people, they're not going to be able to get that specific, right? So first you got to know, is group or private what you need. Okay, so let's talk about the pros and the cons of group coaching, right? So, and I'll just use this as group. I'm using the word coaching here, but it could be like consulting because we've already talked about how the word is a little bit wonky. So, a lot of times with group coaching, you're getting a guided curriculum. One of the things that I think works really well in groups is that ability not only to build the community, but it's also a fantastic way for you to really see the insights of other people's businesses, right? That we have a program here, and one of the things that the clients say is their experience is, hey, you know what's so fantastic is that I get to hear everybody, like everything that's going on in everyone else's business. So you get to see that in a group program. You get to hear whoever the trainer is training the rest of the room, and you are going to pick up things from that, right? And it's an affordable way to get guidance from a coach. It's usually more affordable. The cons of a group coaching program, again, if you don't already have like a strategy, you're probably just doing stuff, right? Unless the group coaching program is so specific to a specific thing. Let me give you an example. If you're getting into a business coaching group that it's like, hey, our objective is to help you build a 6 or 7 figure business, that's really general, right? As opposed to if you are in a group where it's like our entire, like I know one of the really popular group programs that a lot of people like is product launch formula, right? And so that is solely on launching a product. So it's a very specific training, right? But if you don't know, if you're newer to business and you don't exactly know what your specific problem is, you could waste a ton of time and money in a group program, right? And sometimes clients, and you know you, if this is you, they require more guidance. You know, different clients require they require a different need to bounce things off. Some people are pretty independent workers. Some people are like, I need to bounce this off of you, or I don't really know how to even set my goals. I need some support with that. If you are looking for that level of support, you may not get that from a group program, right? Because the clients ultimately can't spend as much time with the coach. That's one of the reasons they've made it so affordable, is you're sharing your time as opposed to that time being focused on you. All right, let's talk about private coaching or consulting. So the pros are, obviously you're moving much faster. It becomes much more individualized. Also, your coach or consultant they start to get to know you, and they know your weak spots, and they also know your strong spots, but they can help you move through it faster because they get to know you better. And so they can also see like if you're running a pattern because they're watching you, right? Like they're involved in your business. You don't have to keep pace with the group. You can go at your own pace. And obviously you get more attention and accountability and that personalized time. The cons of private coaching are oftentimes there's no networking, right? There's not really any connecting with others. You're not learning from other people's businesses. And obviously a con is it's much more expensive, right, than a group program. But again, back to the pros, you're moving at a much, much faster rate because you're doing it privately and it's completely tailored to you. All right, done for you services. I love this as an option for people, and I think it's one of the more underutilized options. Look, here's the thing. If you don't need to learn this for your business, why are you trying? Like, as an example, I'm never going to take a course on bookkeeping because I don't need to know that. I hire a bookkeeper. You know, I don't want to know, it's not going to benefit me in the long run to know how to code a website. I hire people for that. And I think that sometimes we even think, you know, there's different done for you services that you can hire, whether it be Facebook ads, copywriting, you know, I'm just trying to think of some otherwise. You guys throw your examples down below where it is actually better for you to hire an expert and have them do it for you. Number one, it's done for you, right? You don't have to do it. There's no learning curve aside from making sure that you hire the right person, which is exactly why you're taking this course. And finally, you get an expert result, right? You're hiring a person who is an expert in their field, and they're giving you an expert result. Okay. The cons are it can be more expensive, but quite frankly, it can also be really less expensive, because if you don't know how to do something and you're trying to do it, like, you know, if you know, some people, I've heard people say, well, I don't want to go, you know, I was going to hire someone to do my Facebook advertising and it was $7,500 and I'm just going to learn how to do it myself. But by the time they tried to figure out how to do it themselves and figured out that they had no idea what the hell they were doing, it was $15,000. It cost them $15,000 and probably another $50,000 in lost business opportunity. So a lot of times it can be less expensive for you to hire an expert and have services done for you. This is a great choice for people also who are really, really booked and are time sensitive. This is a great choice for you guys because you can still be building your business even if you're still working another job. You can start delegating things and have someone do it for you. Okay, so here's a lot of the examples I was giving you. So like branding, strategy, messaging, copywriting, bookkeeping, legal, product launches, PR, sales, social media marketing, and podcasting, right? There's a lot of done for you services out there that will do that for you. And that's obviously not all of them, but that's just some. All right, the next is live events. Now, I personally am a person who loves to go to live events, right? As long as they're good live events. Now, there's several different types of live events. Number one is pure training events. You're going to probably pay more money for that, and I just want to make sure, yes, I'm going to go into all of these. So you're going to pay more money for that. We'll talk about the pros and cons of that, but pure training events. Another one is a conference with multiple speakers. Tell you the pros and cons of those. Another one is an introductory event or an enrollment event. And another one is a small group live, like coaching, consulting event, mastermind, that sort of thing. Let's dive into live events. So some of the benefits that people love about live events, there's nothing like being in a live room. I'll tell you that right now. Like not only for the person teaching, but also for the student, right? There's nothing like being in a live room. The inspiration, the motivation, the energy, your ability to learn new skills, for you to meet other people, even like potential clients, to meet JV partners, to meet people you might want to hire. You know, there's not an ongoing commitment, and it's a great way even to test out like someone you might want to hire. So what are some of the cons of live events? Well, there's travel expenses. Another one is it is one time only. So if you're looking to go to an event to really help you build your business, you're going to need longer term help. And there is limited, if any, feedback or coaching because, again, it's training to a large room. So you are there to just receive information. If you are a kinesthetic learner, right? There's actually quizzes you can take online to find out if you're more a visual or an auditory or a kinesthetic learner. If you are a kinesthetic learner, get your behind into live events because that is where you are likely going to learn best, okay? Home study courses. Home study courses are super, super cost effective. Generally speaking, they're subject specific. Another one I love about them, like, you know, they're self-paced. You can use them as many times as you want. So you can go, you know, you can go over the materials over and over and over again, and you can get some great training and learn some great new skills. Okay, as long as you get a good one. Now, I've seen amazing home study courses, and I've seen some that I'm like, I cannot believe you're selling this stuff. Unbelievable, right? The cons of home study courses is you are on your own, right? So there's no accountability, no personalization, and very limited, if any, feedback or coaching generally, unless they've built that into their program. Home study courses are fantastic if you want to learn a subject matter and if you like to study and you are that type of person. Like I have one client, Pamela, who went through one of ours. She is that person. She like literally goes through every single module and listens to everything and does every worksheet and does everything and gets great results from home study courses because she has that discipline. I personally am someone that like, it's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. So like, I just stopped a long time ago, right? It's like, to me, it's the home study course it's the treadmill of the getting business support. It's like, I buy them and I'm like, oh, this is so brilliant. And like, what a brilliant program. And then I never get to go through it. So, or I never make, not that I don't get to, let me rephrase that and take ownership. I don't make it a priority. I've got too much stuff going on. Okay. Oops. All right. So that is the pros and cons of home study courses. I do really want to quickly jump back and talk about some of the smaller group live events, right? Like small group masterminds or small group consulting events. Those can be really fantastic. They are kind of a hybrid between a private coach and a hybrid between a private coach and a live event, because you're going to likely get some private training, but it's also going to be in a group environment. So it's kind of like a hybrid, and you can definitely find those programs out there. I know I've been to lots of them. I know we offer them. There's lots of different ones that are really, really fantastic for you to get that experience. So again, I'm just going to pop back and just really quickly, you know, again, you can do the private coaching, mentoring, consulting, small group. You know, there's ones that are large groups that they still meet in groups, but they're large groups. The done for you services, the live events or retreats, and home study courses. Again, my advice to you is to pick the ones that are going to be the best for you, because it doesn't matter how fantastic something is if you don't use it. It doesn't matter how cheap it is if you don't use it. You've got to make sure that you are aligning yourself to get the kind of support that you need. And again, my advice is get the best support that you can barely afford. You know, I don't go and hire people as a coach or a mentor that are at my level. I am hiring people that are where I want to go, which means that they're charging more than I charge, but usually a long shot. And I'm willing to make that investment. So make sure that you are making an ROI-based decision in which of these programs you're looking to invest in, and make sure that you're choosing the one that is going to help you get the farthest, the fastest. Okay, we're going to be diving in future lessons on how to pick the right person and the right training. But after listening to these two, now you know where you are in your critical path, right? You know which stage of business development you're in. And now layering onto this, it's like, all right, so let's just say you are in business strategy phase. Now, which type of program do you want to get that support in? Is it a group coaching? Do you want to try to buy a strategy program online? Do you want to hire someone to do your strategy for you? Do you want, now you can make that decision, right? Which one is going to be the best for you that you are going to get the biggest bang for your buck out of? And that is where you need to make a decision based on the information I just gave you. All right, guys, I hope that this was interesting for you. I hope that it gave you some insight into what we were talking about. I would love to know your feedback. I'd love to hear your stories. And on our, oops, I did not update our next class. Look at that, I ubooed. On our next class, I will post it in the Facebook forum, the one that we are going to be teaching next. Sorry about that, guys. We'll post it there, and I will hope you will join us for that. Until next time, let us know which way you get supported the best. I'd love to hear your feedback. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.